On a quiet summer afternoon in the year 79 AD, the city of Pompeii was alive with laughter, markets, and music. Lovers walked through the streets, merchants shouted their prices, and life felt ordinary. No one knew that within hours the sky itself would fall. And among the thousands trapped in that doomed city, two young lovers would face a choice that would make their story echo through history. The story. Pompeii was one of the most beautiful cities of the Roman world. Marble fountains sparkled in the sunlight, colorful villas lined the streets, and the scent of fresh bread drifted from busy bakeries. Among the crowds lived a young sculptor named Marcus. Marcus was not rich nor powerful, but he had a rare gift. His hands could turn cold marble into living beauty. In his small workshop near the Forum, statues of gods and heroes slowly took shape beneath his chisel. One day, while delivering a sculpture to a wealthy villa, Marcus met someone who would change his life forever. Her name was Livia. She was the daughter of a Roman merchant, known across Pompeii for her kindness and bright laughter. While Marcus adjusted the statue in the garden, Livia watched him work with quiet curiosity. "You make stone look alive," she said softly. Marcus smiled nervously. Stone is easier to understand than people. From that moment, something began between them. Over the following months, they met in secret among Pompeii's quiet gardens and hidden courtyards. They talked about dreams, about distant cities, and about a future far from the expectations placed on them. But their love faced one painful obstacle. Livia's father had already promised her to another man, a wealthy trader from Rome. To him, love meant nothing. Marriage was business. Marcus knew he could not compete with wealth or status. All he had were his hands and his heart. So the two lovers made a plan. They would leave Pompeii together. Marcus had heard of work opportunities in the growing Roman cities along the coast. If they escaped, they could start a new life far away from the rules that bound them. They chose a day, August 24th, but fate had chosen that day too. Late that morning, the ground beneath Pompeii trembled slightly. People paused in the streets, confused but not frightened. Small earthquakes were common in the region. Then the sky changed. A massive cloud rose above the nearby mountain, Mount Vesuvius, towering higher and higher like a dark tree of smoke. Ash began falling like strange gray snow. At first, people laughed nervously. Then stones began to fall. Panic exploded through the streets. Families ran toward the city gates. Horses screamed. The sky turned black as night, even though the sun still hung above the clouds. Marcus ran through the chaos toward Livia's home. When he found her, ash already covered the gardens and rooftops. "We must go now," he said, grabbing her hand. But the streets were already crowded with desperate people trying to escape. Fire and hot ash rained from the sky. They ran together through the darkness, coughing and stumbling as the city they loved collapsed around them. At one moment, Livia tripped and fell in the street. Marcus pulled her up, refusing to leave her behind. They kept running toward the city gates, but the storm of ash grew worse. The air became impossible to breathe. In that final moment, when escape was no longer possible, Marcus wrapped his arms around Livia to shield her from the falling ash. "Don't be afraid," he whispered. And in the darkness, they held each other forever. The legacy. Nearly 2,000 years later, when archaeologists excavated the ruins of Pompeii, they discovered something remarkable. Among the preserved shapes of the victims was a pair of figures locked together in an embrace. No one knows their names, but many historians believe they were
Hey
lovers,
guys,
holding
please
on to
subscribe my
each other
channel,
as the
hit the
world
like
ended.
button.
Their city was lost, their lives were lost, but their love was not. Because sometimes, even when history turns to ash, love survives.